What up, what up, what up? Boxing Nation. You know, the hardcore boxing fans. You know, we're coming back with VP Nation. Hey guys, I've been wanting to touch on this topic for at least 4 months now. Been waiting to bring this to you for 4 months, but I wanted to make sure that all boxing fights were over with. It's the day before Christmas, 2013, and all boxing fights are finally over with. Just happened this past Saturday. So now, guys, bring up a topic that everyone wants to discuss. Everyone wants to say that this fighter is pound for pound. He's ranked this in pound for pound list. You're pound for pound. No, he's number 5 in pound for pound. No, he's the best in pound for pound. No, guys, I totally don't agree with you guys. The reason why, because when you talk about pound for pound, you know, this pound for pound title or pound for pound ranking is pretty much what the people think. But let me tell you my thoughts on what it takes to even be considered for a pound for pound list. To be even considered in the rankings of pound for pound, that means this is a must that you have to be a dominant fighter who's fighting other dominant fighters and winning in a great, fantastic display of boxing skills. Whatever that means to you. Prime example, when I talk about a dominant fighter who's clearing out his division and won in great fashion, was the person you see commentating on HBO, your boy Roy Jones Jr. Back when he was fighting back in his prime, he's still fighting. He just fought, actually. But he's not considered pound for pound by any means no more. Back in his dominant days, oh man, he was definitely number 1 pound for pound. Maybe, you know, on the list, he was definitely pound for pound. And he moved up in weight, took titles, took the heavyweight title, but you know, in the middleweight, he cleared out everyone. He fought everyone, cleared it out, where there was no contract saying, oh, he ducked this person, he ducked that person. No. When Roy Jones was fighting, he fought everyone, cleared it out, moved up to lightweight, cleared that out, took a title, moved up to heavyweight, took another title, moved back down, defending his title. Back in the day, Roy Jones Jr. was considered the pound for pound. And that's the standards nowadays, guys. When you talk about pound for pound, you have to be willing to fight the best, beat the best, and beat them with such a fashion that it's no need for a rematch. No one wants to see that fight again. You clearly got beat doing this fight. You clearly got dominated doing that fight. You was considered one of the best fighting another best, and whoever wins that fight continue going. And all he does is fight champions. He fights the best in his weight class, or he has to move up to another weight class and still fight the best and dominate them. That's when you can finally consider saying that you're on a pound for pound list. Just because you're undefeated, that does not make you on a pound for pound list. Because you could have fought 45 or 50 people who was worth fighting, or just going to get a paycheck, or just a opponent that was put in front of you to lose. When I consider a pound for pound list, you have to fight the best, and you have to beat the best. You have to beat champions, and you have to continue fighting in dominant fashion to be considered the pound for pound list. But you know, a lot of guys they lost sight of this. Everyone said that this fighter is going to be on the pound for pound list, that fighter is going to be on the pound for pound list, and clearly they don't deserve to be on the pound for pound list. And I'm not saying it's all their fault. I'm clearly not saying it's all their fault. Like Triple G, it's not his fault. I mean, clearly he's dominating everyone that they're putting in front of him, but I don't think he deserved to be on the pound for pound list, and I truly think it's not his fault. And that's another point that I'm bringing to you guys. Because of the Cold War between Golden Boy and Top Rank, we're not getting the best fighting the best now in weight classes. We're not seeing who's really the best of a particular weight at 147 or at 140 or at 165, or at 154, or heavyweight, lightweight. We're not seeing the best of the best fighting each other with this Cold War that HBO, Showtime, Golden Boy, and Top Rank have going with one another. With this Cold War, you know, everyone is greedy now. Everyone wants to make all the money and don't want to share the money. Golden Boy wants to make all the money and have the money to themselves, just like Top Rank wants to make all the money and have money to themselves. And now we're not getting the best fighting the best. And as a boxing fan, I feel cheated. Because I can't really say that this person is pound for pound the greatest because he hasn't fought the other person that's clearing out on the other side of his weight division. He hasn't fought that person. Until you fight that person, you can't really claim to be pound for pound the best. So I feel cheated, and it's hard to make a pound for pound list when you can't fight the best of your own weight class because they're signed with a different promotion company. That's garbage. And as boxing fans, we should protest. You know, until we start seeing the fights that the fans want to see, the best fight the best, then, you know, we should start protesting. You know, until we should make Top Rank and Golden Boy promotions work with one another to put on fights. I don't care. You know, if there's no money involved, it can be done. Look at Tyson and Holyfield. You know, they even had the ring split off. Or what's that, Lennox Lewis? It might have been, I can't remember exactly who it was. But they even had the ring split off. I was young then. I'm sorry, guys. I was very young when Tyson was fighting whoever he was fighting with. I think it was Lennox Lewis. But he was with Showtime and the other fighter was with HBO. They both broadcasted it. And, you know, everyone got paid for it. You know, don't get me wrong. This year in 2013 has been a wonderful card for boxing. You know, we have gotten exciting fights. But in 2013, I can't really say that we have clearly pound for pound rankings here. Because we're not getting the best fighting the best. Yes, you know, somebody makes a pretty good name and they have a great, awesome knockout rate. But that doesn't matter when you don't consider the people who they're fighting are also one of the best. You know, pound for pound rankings, you have to clear out your division. You have to fight the best. You have to make sure that everyone knows that this division, I am the king. And then I defend my title by going out and fighting on all challengers from a lower weight division to a higher weight division, trying to take my title. And then on top of it, to clear and show that I am dominant, then I begin to move up in weight, clear that division out, fight the best of the best, take the belts, unify the belts. And that's another thing that we're getting. Because of this Cold War between Golden Boy and Top Rank, we're not getting unifications of belts. So now you have these 4 or 5 belts out in the weight class, and you have one person who has 2, and then you have the other person on Golden Boy who has 2 or 3. You know? And they say, well, oh no, WBC is considered the best belt, so he really is world-class champion. No, that's bull crap. Until you fight the other champion who has belts, you really can't be considered the best of that weight division. I'm not saying you can't beat them, but until you have all the belts where you combine all the belts together to say you are the champ, you know, your picture and champion goes right there. There's no other champions below you or in your weight class who also have champions. You have beaten everyone to get those belts. Until that happens, you can't really say you cleared out the division. And I bring that point up because when I tell you my pound for pound list, I might get a lot of backlash. You know, I was going to tell you the top 10 pound for pound the way I have them picked. But I can't give you top 10. I cannot. Because of the Cold War between Top Rank and Golden Boy promotions, you're not getting the best fighting the best. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Even with, of course, everyone knows Floyd Mayweather Jr. is #1 pound for pound. And clearly, he has shown over 17 years the reason why he's pound for pound. But this is my thing. Over 17 years, he's been fighting at 147 for how long? and he doesn't have all the belts because he refused to do business with Top Rank. Refused to do business with Top Rank. But everyone knows he's pound for pound #1. That's no question about it. So, I mean, Mayweather himself makes his own case. But my #2, pound for pound, Andre Ward. Andre Ward is 27-0. 27-0, guys. He clearly cleaned out the division of his weight class. Clearly. I think he needs to move up. Super middleweight, he cleaned that division out. He don't beat everybody in that division. So, you know, definitely, Andre Ward deserves to be #2. He definitely deserves to be #2. He cleared everyone out in that division. And just based on that fact alone, I'm not talking about the fact that he's undefeated. I'm talking about the fact that he went to a weight division and cleared it out. He clearly need to move up. He clearly need to move up and fight more people. But right now, he's considered #2, pound for pound. But here's my shocker. #3, pound for pound. #3. And I'm going to tell you the reason why he's #3 on my list for pound. You have Timothy Bradley. You know, everyone said that he lost that fight against Pacquiao. Nah, I don't see it that way. I thought he won it. Timothy Bradley is 31-0. Timothy Bradley has been put in against situations where he was supposed to lose. He's been put in with fighters where they can pad their stats, and look good and have another name on their resume. And Timothy Bradley has overcome all odds to beat everyone. Timothy Bradley has cleared out the division at 140. Beat everyone in 140 that he could be. Of course, you know, you have the Top Rank and Golden Boy era going on where they're not putting the best against the best. But while he was fighting at 140, he cleared the whole division out. That's #1. #2, he moved up in weight division and knocked off. See, that's another thing about pound for pound. When you're fighting the best of the best and you knock off another pound for pound, you move up in ranking. Timothy Bradley was not even considered top 10 pound for pound, or he might have been at 10 or 11 during this time. Timothy Bradley fought Manny Pacquiao and won. Everyone said he lost that fight. I personally don't think he lost that fight. I think he won that fight. But neither here or there. Timothy Bradley said, okay, fuck it. If you think that I didn't win this fight, I'm willing to give Manny Pacquiao a rematch. Manny Pacquiao said, no, I'm not taking that fight. I'm not taking that rematch. That's BS. If you really feel like you won that fight, you're going to take that rematch to get what's yours back. You lost the belt. You lost that. You're going to take what's yours to get that back. Manny Pacquiao said, no, I'm going to fight Marquez. Marquez during the time was ranked pound for pound. He was like #5 or #6. You know, and we all know what happened when Marquez and Manny Pacquiao fought for the 4th time. Actually, Marquez was losing that fight. He was almost done for. But he caught Manny Pacquiao coming in. Good night. He put Manny Pacquiao to sleep. He told him, it's time for you to go to bed. Go night-night. And you slept for about 12 hours straight. So Marquez came in and said, you know what? I want Timothy Bradley. I'm on the top of my career. I want Timothy Bradley. I want that belt. I want that belt that's been eluding me for the longest, that Manny Pacquiao has been holding on to. And see, that's why I'm saying, guys, Manny Pacquiao did not want a rematch with Timothy Bradley because Manny Pacquiao knew that he could not fight Timothy Bradley because Timothy Bradley had movement. He had great movement, and he had a broke ankle during that fight. So he knew the rematch was going to make him look even worse. He said, nah, I just go back and beat somebody I already beat 3 times. Because they keep on saying that this is a fight of the year. Timothy Bradley said, come on, Marquez. He said in this interview, he said, Marquez, you should have retired on the top of your game when you fought Manny Pacquiao. Now you're going to come fight me. I'm young, I'm undefeated, and I'm going to stay that way, and I still got the belt. And he turned around and outboxed Marquez. He outboxed the boxer. Beat him so convincingly that all the people who said that Marquez won that fight was Marquez himself and his trainer. Beat him so convincingly. Welterweight champion, WBO, Timothy Bradley, 31-0, 12 knockouts, no power, 12 knockouts, but he must be keeping them boys off of him somehow. He got heart and determination. It's undefeated. My number 3, pound for pound, because he has eclipsed 2, not 1, but 2 people on the pound for pound list. That's what I'm saying when you have the best fighting the best and still winning in a dominant fashion. That's what I'm saying. When you have the best fighting the best and still winning in a dominant fashion, you deserve to be on the pound for pound list. You know, and truth be told, between Mayweather fighting Khan, what the hell that's going to be, or Madonna, what the hell that's going to be. Who wants to see that? Let's see if Timothy Bradley can fight Mayweather and eclipse him. Because clearly, Timothy Bradley been beating people at 147 on the pound for pound list. But that's another topic. That's another story. That's going to be part 3 of my post that I'm going to do today, by the way. But right now, let me recap. So for my first pound for pound list, I have Mayweather. My second, who is 45-0, he has the WBC, WBA junior middleweight champion. He has the ring and WBC welterweight champion. Okay? So he's clearly number 1, pound for pound. My next, number 2, is Andre Ward, who is 27-0. And he has the ring and WBA super middleweight champion. I mean, only thing that's stopping this boy from being noticed is the inactivity that he's having, clearly because of injuries or what. But clearly, he has dominated the super middleweight division. He cleared everyone out. He has beaten everyone. He did a tournament style and beat everyone. Everyone who has been put in front of him, he has beat them. He even beat Chad Dawson. Chad Dawson was like heavyweight champion or lightweight champion at the time, even though Chad Dawson came down, which was a mistake, and Andre Ward picked him apart, took him apart, manhandled him apart, beat that butt, beat that tail, made him quit. Andre Ward, man, he a bad person. Number 2, Timothy Bradley, another bad person. He got that pit bull in him. Pit bull. He is the WBO welterweight champion. That's what I'm talking about when I say top rank doesn't work with Golden Boy. Because you have Mayweather, who has all of the titles except for the WBO. And he's not fighting Timothy Bradley. I don't think he should. Number 4, of course, you know, we don't really see his fights no more. But this has been a guy who has been dominant for a very long time. Anyone who comes up against him is getting knocked out. Anyone who comes up against him is getting knocked out. And his brother, before his brother retired, was doing the same exact thing. They say they didn't have a chin, but you couldn't get close to his chin because he was knocking you out before you can even think about touching him. Radomir Klesko, 61-3, 51 knockouts. He has the ring belt, the IBF belt, the WBO belt, the WBA belt, and of the heavyweight division, knocking everyone out. His brother retired, so I cannot put his brother in the pound for pound rankings. But if his brother did not retire, his brother would be right next to him. But his brother retired. So far, this guy has been dominant. He has been knocking every heavyweight out, and everyone's saying, "Oh, we need to bring the titles back to the United States." Damn that! Go take them. The problem is we're not producing good heavyweights to go take the titles from these boys. These boys been knocking everyone out, putting everybody to sleep. They say their fights are boring. But the reason why their fights is boring because it's always one-sided fights. And when you get a one-sided fight, it's always boring. So, Klesko is my number 4, pound for pound. And my number 5, I know he been hurt. He been out. He hasn't been boxing in almost a year. In his last boxing match, he did not look good, but he still won. Actually, his last 2 boxing matches, he did not look good. but he still won. He still found some way to win. He dug deep, found some way to win. You know, the boy who knocked out Paul Williams, of course, Sergio Martinez. Record is 51-2 with 2 draws, 28 knockouts. I have him as my number 5. Titles, he has the ring and the WBC middleweight. The only reason, now let me give you a reason. Everyone else who you felt shouldn't make this list, let me tell you why they didn't make the list. Because of the competition they was fighting, first of all. Even if they are undefeated, the competition that they're fighting, they're not fighting the best of the best. So they did not make this list because they're not willing to fight the best of the best. Even if that's due with promotion reasons or trying to duck people in a certain weight class. Anyone else did not make this pound for pound list. And you don't make the pound for pound list. I mean, even if you lose, that's okay. Maybe if I do a top 10, I really feel like it's not a top 10 pound for pound list to be made. But maybe if I did a top 10, clearly some people might have been on it. You might look at me and say, what the crap? You know, you didn't have Manny Pacquiao on it. Pacquiao should have been on it. No, Pacquiao lost. And of course, losing is one thing. But when you lose at higher competition on the elite level and you have lost and then come back and lose again, and then you come back and fight some B-class fighter and try to look dominant for it, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Clearly. Pacquiao shouldn't have been on there. Marquez, he lost against Timothy Bradley. Yeah, he had a knockout win on Manny Pacquiao. That's because he fought Pacquiao 4 fights. You know, and Pacquiao was still about to finish him. Marquez's nose broke. He was down. He was down for the count. He was almost done with. So I can't put Marquez on there. Canelo. Can I put Canelo on pound for pound list? I never once had Canelo on my pound for pound list. Yeah, Canelo was 42-1 with 30 KOs, and he was knocking out. But Canelo wasn't winning in dominant fashions. I personally felt like he didn't beat Austin Trout. Canelo, I personally felt like he did not beat Austin Trout. And he wasn't ready for Mayweather. And the people that he's been fighting has been born and was tailor-made for him to be knocked out. So, please, guys, don't say Canelo. Please. Whoever you want to tell me. The only reason why these other people like Triple G and everyone hasn't made it, Rigondeaux, and people who has been dominated in a dominating fashion, is because they haven't fought the best of the best yet. I'm not saying they don't have the talent to make the pound for pound list. I'm just saying it's yet to be proven because they haven't fought the best of the best yet. And that's not all due to their fault. Like I said, that's Golden Boy and Top Rank promotion war. So everything else, hey, what can I say? Like I said, guys, this is my pound for pound list. Sorry I was a little bit long-winded, but I wanted you to understand the reason why I only have 5 pounds per pound. And those 5 was kind of hard to come up with. Let me know what you think. Tell me your pound for pound list. Let me know if you agree with me or you disagree with me. Holla back, leave a comment, post it on YouTube. BP Nation, we coming back again in 2014. I want to see great fights. I want to see the best fight the best. I want to see the promotions work with one another and stack the cards, and let's get it on for 2014. Let's see, can we eclipse 2013? As boxing fans, we need to stand up and demand the best fight the best. I'm on to the next one.